What is the biggest factor for human trafficking to occur? Poverty, gangs, or domestic abuse?
So kind of all of the above. Poverty contributes. So it happens to a greater percent in lower socioeconomic areas. But it's not the only factor. It can happen anywhere. We've had women and seem like everything's okay, but there's almost always a vulnerability there. So it could be mental health in the family or in the victim. It could be substance abuse. It could be being a new kid at a new school. And the gang members will swoop in and we call it love bombing. They give that person what they need. But gangs are a big issue too. It's between, well, it's at least 50% of the arrests around trafficking have to do with gangs. And the gangs have found it so profitable that they work together on sex trafficking, where they won't on other issues. They'll clash. It's been said many times that you can sell a gun once, you can sell drugs once, but you can sell a woman over and over again. So sex trafficking is the second biggest underground economy across the nation, but in particular in San Diego. Yeah.
Who is the most vulnerable demographic for human trafficking, and what can be done to help protect them?
So as I said, it can happen to anyone. And that's really important to realize. It can happen to somebody on the internet. It can happen to somebody on a dating website. It can happen to somebody on a gaming site. So it really can happen to anybody, and we always want to impress that on people. But most vulnerable are homeless and foster youth. Yeah, very vulnerable population.
And then, what can adolescents like us do to prevent human trafficking?
Talk about it.
Talk about it.
Yeah. It's an awkward subject, and I mean, there's times where I'm meeting new people, and so what do you do? Well, I work with sex trafficked women. It's kind of like, what do I say now?
Yeah.
And I just kind of jump in and keep the conversation rolling. But it's a bit of a taboo subject, and you're talking about sex, and people are awkward about talking about sex typically. But it's important to talk about it. The more people we educate, I think the greater chance we have of getting a handle on this. If each of you guys go and speak to 5 of your peers or your family members or whatever, then that's a lot more people that know about it. And maybe we'll vote differently on legislation, or maybe we'll educate their own children, to be aware of what's going on. I think it's great what you guys are doing now. You're going to be, educating a lot of people, by helping them know the answers to the fabulous questions that you've asked. If you're a believer, pray about it, because we do believe that we're faith-based, and we believe that God has a hand in all of this, and that He can prepare women for rehabilitation, and then He can heal women, and He can save them, and He can save the men too. So that's another thing you can do. People can always do fundraising events, those kinds of things. But I think the biggest thing that everybody can do is talk about it.
Yeah. Also, too, I had looked on your website. Are you guys partnered with GEMS?
We're not.
Oh.
We've done things together with GEMS, and GEMS has been out here early on for training with us.
Okay.
And there's always times where we get referrals from other programs, and we refer to other programs. And we're most of us are connected with the human trafficking hotline in Washington D.C.
Oh, okay.